Hey guys, back down on the boat today. I'm going to get a couple projects done today. We're going to install some portable solar. I bought a 200 watt Re-Energy portable solar panel along with a Victron power adapter that I'm going to try to install while the sun's still out today. And then my front head, the manual pump on it is leaking. So instead of just replacing the gaskets and stuff, I just bought a whole replacement. I'm gonna do that along with give Serenity a nice scrub down. She's a little dirty. So we're gonna try to get that done today and bring you guys along with me. Not everything on a boat is glamorous all the time. Sometimes you gotta clean the shitter. So anyway, take you along with me. So one of the good things about this boat is it's got a ton of storage. The question is, where am I going to put my solar converter at, whatever it's called, the Victron unit, the charge controller. Where am I going to put that, and what does this look like? So I bought a portable Re-Energy solar because I don't have a platform really to set up my solar. So I'm kind of thinking for the time being, I'll just utilize it when I go out. So I'm going to put it on my Dodger every time I go out or I go over to the island. And then I'm just going to leave the wire loose and put a disconnect on it, and then when I'm out I'll put the portable up, and when I come back I'll put it back down underneath. But I'll have everything set up and ready to go for when I do a permanent solar on there. So I think my game plan right now is to put the charger in a storage compartment that I have next to the batteries and then connect it directly up. So this is one of our staterooms and where my batteries are located. So batteries are right there, and I think I'm going to put the unit in this cabinet right here and then just run it up and have it sit right along the side here. So instead of drilling any holes or anything, I'll just put it right through this access panel and up to the Dodger. And while I understand that that's not a permanent thing, like I said, this is going to be a temporary thing, see how it works before I start drilling any additional holes in the boat. I think eventually I do have some access off the aft of the boat once I do a permanent solar. But for the time being, I think this is probably the best access I can have and doesn't make it too unsightly. So I think that's going to be my game plan, and we'll start moving forward with that. Okay, so don't mind the sweat. It gets hot down here in the boat, but I've got it temporary wired up. I got to clean it up, obviously, but I got the charge controller there, which I'm going to connect, and then I've got to connect to the batteries, and it runs up through there. I got to clean all this up, and then come up above. Obviously, like I said, the wire's got to get cleaned up. And I've got the Re-Energy 200 watt solar that I'll just keep up here. And hopefully, I know I won't get the full 200 watts because A, they're rated above what you normally get, and B, it's one of those things where I'm always going to have some sort of shade on it. So, but it'll work temporarily or while I go out to at least keep the batteries up. So that's kind of what I've done so far. I'm going to try to clean it up and secure everything down, and then download the app and go through the whole process of setting it up. But it wasn't too bad, actually. I was actually pretty impressed with how easy that was. Knock on some wood here. But yeah, a beautiful day in Long Beach. All right, so it's installed. I just need to get some conduit or little plastic wire connectors so that the wire is a little bit more organized and cleaned up. The one thing I did realize is that the Blue Solar Victron controllers are not Bluetooth. So thank goodness for Amazon, I can return it. But it should be a simple just buy the new one and then install it. Just undo the wires that I did and everything's good. So the final product, it's right here. It's coming out of the window, as you can see. And then I'm gonna connect it. It'll go all the way back and then into here. And I've got the controller connected right there. It's all working. Everything's good. It's getting power. I just really wanted the Bluetooth. So I'll switch that out for a Bluetooth. But other than that, everything worked out pretty good. Just need to clean up these wires, and I'm pretty happy with it. It wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be. Okay, so it's there, and turned out pretty good. Can't see it. The wires sneak around the back there, and I'm just gonna get some wire ties, and then this will coil up and just go on the top here when it's unplugged from the solar. So everything's doing good. Project number one, done. Okay, so got the boat cleaned, got the solar up, and now I got a shitty job to do. Now I've got to replace that pump with a new one. And the thing I got to be cautious about is I've already shut off all the inlets and outlets, but there still could be some waste in those tubes. So I'll utilize a trash can here when I unconnect everything and make sure I have gloves on and everything else. But it should be fairly simple. I should just have to undo those full 4 bolts right there, or 4 screws right there. Disconnect all the tubes and then replace one for the other. With a new gasket and stuff like that. So this is where it's leaking. It's actually loose and water's coming out from right in here. So they make a rebuild kit also, but I just said, you know what, let's just replace the whole thing. It was only a couple bucks more. So that's the next project. Probably one of the most difficult things actually was being able to get the screwdriver into access, and one of the screws was stripped out. So what I ended up having to do was pull the upper portion of the pump off to adjust for that. So that's what I had to do to make that happen.
element that I learned while researching this project is that it's better to just keep your current elbow on your waistline so that you don't have to readjust it and there's no possibilities of leaking. So what Jabsco recommends is that you take the gasket out of the new unit and place it into the elbow that's already connected. So that's what I did. It definitely seems easier than trying to get that hose off, and then it's already aligned and ready to go.
All right, so that was a shitty job, but it wasn't too difficult. Had a little problem with the hoses and leaking, but I'm glad I just bought the whole thing because it went together pretty good. I had one stripped out screw that I replaced, but other than that, it's in and doing good. Took me, what, less than a half an hour, so not too bad. Clean up and trying to keep everything clean and dealing with all that terrible water and the smell is probably the worst part. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. Time to jump in the water at this point. So even though we're not out cruising, we're just hanging out on the boat, I think it is time for captain's hour. A little 8:05 today. This is for a buddy of mine who's on the tick of the talk. But first, a beer. Well deserved, well deserved. Gonna spend the night on the boat. Gonna make a little dinner here in a minute. You know, it's been a couple weeks since I've come down to the boat a couple times, but since I've actually spent any time on the boat and just hung out and chilled out. God, man, as the sun's starting to go down here, I mean, this is just absolutely beautiful. I think I might throw the drone up in a little bit, maybe get some night shots. My goal this weekend is to go over to the island with my youngest daughter. She wants to go with me, which really makes me happy because the fact that they're enjoying it as well is awesome. So hopefully get over to the island this weekend. And I got those projects all done in a couple hours, which wasn't too bad. Got the boat washed, it's looking good. And we should be good to go for early Friday morning send-off. So, yeah, I mean, this is what it's all about. Cheers. And I keep forgetting to say this, but may the wind push you and the anchor hold you. Sailing Serenity. out.